Hey, what's going, y'all? It is yours truly once again. So I believe personally that there actually has been a misinterpretation of the acronym INCEL. Of course, we know it as involuntary celibacy. But what if I were to tell you that there's actually another acronym that should be explored? Yes, I coined it, involuntary solitary. So not incel, but INSOL. You spell INCEL, INCEL. INSOL is spelled INSOL. Involuntary solitary. That's what it's all about. And that's what a lot of this Sigma thing is in other people who have had to be solitary by nurture, not solitary by nature. There are only a few people on this planet who represent the attributes of actually being solitary by nature, because actually humans are social individuals. It is unnatural for a human to be solitary for a long excuse me, for a long period of time. Those who are solitary by nature, those small group of people who really are more enigmatic than other individuals. And they've been this way all their life. It hasn't been a coping mechanism. So for someone that had became solitary over time as they became an adult and things like that, those are your INSOL. Yeah. And so, of course, with the incel, that means, yes, someone that's involuntary celibate, someone who just can't get sex. Now, what about the solitary person? They're probably still getting sex, but they're just solitary, but involuntary, meaning that, yes, they were more or less the cast out type of person. They became solitary. You know, they made the choice based on whatever decisions. What made it to where you decide now to be solitary? Because you want to be? Well, there was a reason why you wanted to be solitary. Some people will say, well, that's more voluntary solitary, not involuntary solitary. But I'm going to tell you why. It is still involuntary. Well, a lot of things push people to where now they realize that solitude is probably the best thing for them. But really, these type of people who are truly not solitary by nature, you should strive more for solace, not solitude, solace. It's just a period of time in your life where you just need to be by yourself, where you need to do some soul searching, where you need to gather your thoughts. Nothing wrong with that. So yes, you're part of this involuntary solitary, this solace. You need to get back to who your true self is. You need to discover and explore who your true self is. Because if you just voluntarily be solitary, it's truly an unnatural thing, because once again, humans by nature are social. So find out who your true self is so that you don't be almost like this whole thing about what incel is. Yeah, you still getting sex, but you want to be by yourself all of a sudden for whatever reason. So you might say, I voluntarily decided to be solitary. But no, it's still based on things that occurred in your life that made you want to be that way. So it's still it's still a involuntary type of a situation, because you're actually going against your very nature as a human being. Only a few people on this planet really are solitary by nature. Only a few people on this planet are. It's unhealthy for people to just be by themselves all the time. Most, I would say about 80 to 90% of people on this planet are social. So the opposite is antisocial. For someone who is solitary by nature, ironically, they are still social, ironically, but they just are more solitary about how they do it. So yeah, I just basically giving y'all an idea to where, let's just say, I know some people have come to the conclusion that, yo, these Sigma folk, man, they remind me of these incel type of folk. They're not even incel, y'all. They INSOL. Most of them, because of the whole outcast thing, they were outcast. It's not that they even incel. They still getting sex for the most part. I'm pretty sure they are. So, because remember, that's what incel is. You can't get sex for whatever reason. And it may be some biological reasons too. So my heart goes out to those people who have biological reasons as to why they are celibate. My heart goes out to y'all. It really does. And so I definitely take a page from their book, because I try to be celibate in my own way, which is VCEL, voluntary celibacy, you know. But yeah, for a lot of these people who have come to the conclusion that this whole Sigma thing, man, a lot of them are incels. Nah, man, they not incels, they INSOLs. So yeah. So take that coin I just gave you, man, and spread it around. Yeah, there's this new, there's not just incel, there's INSOL, not just involuntary celibacy, there's involuntary solitary. Signing out.